Welcome back. Today we will be building a cheese factory, something like that. In the last episode we built the last remaining building of the entrance area. You can see that on the info card. I think it turned out really well. You saw it in the intro as well. And yeah, let's start with building the cheese factory. Now, the thing you can see on the left, you know, that giant white building, that will be the McDonald's. That will be in the entrance area as well. You know, just thought why not put it there. And now we're trying to cover up this room behind there with some buildings in front. Now the whole thing today will be also finishing the whole, not finishing it, you know, enhancing the whole theme of this roller coaster, which is all mouse themed. So the vehicles of the roller coaster will get a mouse theme overhaul, so that it looks like a mouse, and the track will get yellow. So yeah, the whole cheese theme basically. Yeah, those buildings here aren't that functional, just to hide that huge block back there, because it won't be that beautiful to look at, so we covered up with some other buildings. Now we will build some buildings in the future that don't have holes for roller coaster in them, but the ones currently here, they all have some entrances and exits of roller coaster. But I think that's kind of interesting, isn't it? I would like to see that in real life for sure. We also will build some mice in the cheese factory. And yeah, isn't it weird that the plural of mouse is mice, but the plural of house isn't heis? It's like houses. Yeah, never made really sense to me. Why it's mice or moose and moose? Like, why is that like this? Why is English so weird sometimes? Still better than French, but still a bit weird. So yeah, then I built this building, and I noticed pretty quickly we don't have that many great doors to work with. There's really only those either very themed doors that don't really go here, or there are very unthemed generic modern doors, but nothing in between really. Not this classic wooden door that isn't Viking themed that we had in Planet Coaster 1. We don't have that. And then I also added some wooden beams on the bottom. Kind of makes it look a bit more realistic, and always some plans to make it look a bit more friendly. Sadly, the guests are still walking right through those plant pots. I don't know if you know that, write in the comment section. Is there this piece from Planet Coaster 1 that allows you to block off paths so that guests don't walk through there anymore? Because I haven't found it. Or is there a path tool that allows you to get rid of paths? And because currently we only, as far as I know, have features that add paths, but none that really get rid of paths. So that would be nice to see, you know, like emptying out. Like if you build a giant plaza and you want the circle in the middle, to be able to do that retroactively after you build the whole path, the whole circle path there. But yeah, we don't have that currently. We have to build the circle very annoyingly by building the whole plaza around it. Yeah, but plazas will be on our mind later on, because currently we still only have the main street. Yeah, also added some flowers up there, I believe. You know, flowers are a great way to make a building look a bit more friendly. This also exists in real life. It's a building from, I think it's Zurich, some Swiss city. As you know, like all of those buildings here are inspired or one-to-one copies of buildings in Swiss cities. Yeah, I just like that little like home reference, and yeah, people who know the cities may recognize them. Yeah, but now, you know, that building took a whole while just for decoration. Basically, it doesn't have any other purpose. If you have some ideas what building should be in the main street or anywhere in the park, you can leave it down in the comments. And the question I would have for you is, what is your favorite cheese? Because we'll build the cheese factory today, and I don't know quite. I like the cheese that aren't, you know, that smelly, that are more on the not tasteless, but they don't have that much taste. I like them way more. You can melt them on a sandwich or something. I do like them more than those very, very smelly cheeses that aren't really. I don't like them. If your whole mouth is burning after consuming the cheese, it's not the cheese I like. And the question would be, what cheese even is in there? Maybe we could get some funny. Maybe we could make up a cheese brand and put it on the cheese in the warehouse. Yeah, it's basically a cheese warehouse, not a factory. That would be funny. You could write me some made up cheese brands in the comment section and I would put it in there, maybe. We can have like fake sponsors. In Europa Park, there's actually a ride called Pirates of Batavia, and it has tons of like product placements in there for cheese as well. So it's a bit weird if you see like that pirate treasure and that there's just this one wheel of cheese in there with a very obvious logo. I've always found that a bit weird. What you also see me doing a lot is orienting my building style of new buildings on the buildings I already built. So like copying these pieces from the other building because I can't remember the name of them and I don't want to search them out all the time. In Planet Coaster 1, I basically knew the names of most pieces, or at least where I can find them. And so, I could basically just search up, like, I don't know, pirate-themed door or something, and I knew exactly which one I would find. But here, I don't have that yet. Maybe it will come with time, probably. I just don't have it with Planet Coaster, even though there are less pieces, which is noticeable. Like I said, with the doors, for instance, it's very noticeable that there are way less pieces. I mean, a creative builder can find a way around that. I'm not complaining about that, but it would be nice to have some more pieces. Sometimes a piece that's deliberately made for something just looks better than the one you have to improvise. Usually that is the case, at least. Like with people were building adventure areas before there was an adventure DLC in Planet Coaster 1. But at the end, the adventure pieces really looked better than the ones we improvised. Maybe that's sad, I don't know, but that's just the case. Except if you're maybe Silverette or something like this. If you're like the pro builder in person, maybe you can get it to look right. But if there's a piece, why not use it? That was my philosophy always. Because improvising doesn't always give the best results. Then now we come to that cheese warehouse. Now I'm realizing it's more of a cheese basement. Just a place where cheese is stored. I don't know. So I wanted to have a very dark room first, so I tried to do that, and with the lighting of Planet Coaster 2 that's actually possible, which is great. We can just have a room that's just dark, and that's fascinating. Like in Planet Coaster 1, you would have had to change the time settings. Oh, that was so annoying. You had a coaster, and it went like through one tunnel, and you had to go like in with that effect control panel and say like, okay, now here set it to night and here today. That worked decent until the park was so full that it just didn't render in time. So the problem we had is just, until it was night, the tunnel was already left behind. So if you have a very full park, you could basically forget it to ever have a dark tunnel. So then I put in those walls. You see, I darkened off the room off camera. I don't know. I think I forgot to record that. But it's basically, it was just placing walls. And now I'm placing the brick walls I finally want to have in this room. I still have a cold, by the way. And then I'm building the roof. Now the roof, it has to be like an arch, but not perpendicular or tangent to the walls. You will see what I mean by that. Just an arc roof that's the image I found from online. I will put it on screen now. So as you can see, this image also has this arched roof. Now this is more of a modern basement. I wanted to go for more of an old vibe, to have some bit more atmosphere in it. Now the modern things are often more efficient, but old buildings have more charm to them, really. And in a theme park you basically only have old buildings. Just the modern ones, they look a bit soulless sometimes. So you see the robot in the picture, I left that out of course, because we want to have our mice in here. And you see how dark it gets. It's crazy. We could basically build a spook house, like just with buildings. My old spook house was hidden underground. So yeah, then I added those lights, colored them in a bit more of a warm color to give the whole cheese a bit more of a yellowy feel. And then I started constructing those, not already even called, just the place that the cheese is stored on, which took forever. You can't imagine how long it took. But with copy paste I could speed it up. Now a tip for you is, if you have to do something like this and you're still in the same building, mark one piece, like here, separate it from the building, make a separate building out of it. Then you can mark the whole thing independent of the old building and just copy it. And then I use this raster tool, which lets you set like a certain distance that you want to shift it. So I set it to like I think 4 meters, and it shifted it exactly 4 meters, which is great because then it's exactly where it needed to be. So then I added the cheese. Now, I could have made it a lot easier by just adding the same, just doing one row of cheese and then copying it. But then it looks all simple and samey, and I didn't want that. I didn't want every single cheese in every single level to look exactly the same. So I did copy, but then I changed up the size and position of the cheese relative to the other one to really make it feel like that everyone is slightly different, as it would be in real life. Maybe I exaggerated a little bit, but if I wouldn't, it would look unnatural. So yeah, then selecting all the cheese, and then I'm doing the same thing again. I'm taking it away from this building group of the whole wooden things, and now I can copy it independently. I can mark out the whole thing, copy it. Now I think I was googling something there. Yeah, so you see how fast that goes. That's really efficient. But yeah, then I saw like probably it looks a bit sterile. I also added some music in. I didn't show it, I don't know, because of like copyright reasons and all of that stuff. But yeah, it was like a nice, friendly tone I added in. Nothing too serious. It's building a fucking cheese basement with mice. Why should I add a serious tone to it? Yeah, then you see here that took forever. Just listening to podcasts probably, or some music. What music do you listen to? I don't know. I personally listen to like 80s music and all of that stuff. I thought about adding a whole 80s music theme area, like we could add a Hard Rock Cafe to that. Maybe we could add like a giant coaster and name it after a song. I did it in another park once. I built for a competition of a German YouTuber, and I built like a Thunderstruck coaster. Yeah, after the AC/DC song. So that was funny. Stuff like this. We could do that and reference like movies from the 80s. I don't know if you know Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but we could reference that. Stuff like this, or Star Wars or something. But sci-fi would be its own area. Sci-fi would also be interesting. What theme areas would you wish that I do? Like, I don't have that much of a plan right now. I know that there will be a Roman theme area, like ancient Rome, but more I don't really know. So yeah, you can say me what I should do. Maybe an underwater area, like with the new aquatic theme, would also be a thing. But I also like just using existing pieces for themes that aren't in the game. Or we could do just countries as well. although that's a bit of a classic. But we could do that, you know, we have our Italy theme or America theme or whatever, basically like that. So then I'm testing out the coaster a little bit. In America theme, we could go a hamburger land, imagine that. Planet Coaster 1, there were hamburgers as pieces. That was funny. I know I built the food land once. Oh, and now we start building the first mouse. And I wanted it to move. I wanted to animate the whole mouses. So, mouses. See? Mice. Okay. Still doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, so you see how I put it on this whole turning table underneath? So it will turn around. I will build some other mice as well that are animated differently later on. Just so we have a bit of variation. You saw that in the intro as well. And depending on which shape you add, it could either be a koala or a mouse. So I added the triangular one for a mouse. And the typical ears. And I added a bit of hair. I don't know, makes it look a bit better. I mean, mice have hairstyles, I guess. Then we added the eyes. And not to miss is, of course, a mouse is holding a cheese in his hand. Why not? Like, just a piece of the cheese, which is way too large for the cheese in here, but you know, it's just for the looks. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, building eyes is also something strange. It looks a bit creepy, doesn't it? Yeah, I think I adjusted it later on because it really looked creepy. Yeah, then adding some feet. Do mice have 4 feet or 4 hands? What do you think? I don't know, but yeah, then I added some hands. I made it a bit humanoid, of course. Yeah, then I added the cheese they're holding. I couldn't figure out how to do the hands, to be honest. So they just hold something that the hands are obscured by the object. And I added some cheese holes, and that was basically it. And yeah, the mouse turns around. That was the first mouse, and I thought like, oh, should I leave it with just one? But I was like, nah, we have to add at least 3. So that's what we did. So I copied the existing mouse outside. And what I wanted to do is have one that's going up and down, you know, that's jumping, because it's so glad it could finally have a bit of cheese. And yeah, adjusted the hand position for that as well. So basically that. Yeah, you know, what you could build with this thing, this animatronic that goes up and down. I really don't want to know what people are building with that. I mean, or is the Planet Coaster community better than that? I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, how many 12-year-olds play this game? But yeah, then we had that. It's basically jumping and jumping. Maybe we could add some confetti in there as well. Yeah, some kind of particle effect. I haven't thought about that. Then I thought maybe we should have a mouse that combines the 2 movements. You know, that's like jumping and turning around because it's so happy. And I did that as well. So sometimes when copying those things, weird effects started to happen. But yeah, then at the end it worked out. Yeah, that thing I couldn't really incorporate the whole, you know, the back and forth thing. So yeah, and this implementing this was also really hard. That it doesn't crash into the whole things we have built there in the wall. That it doesn't crash against the wall was hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one is great. I built it so that it's juggling with like cheese pieces. That is nice, isn't it? I mean, we can build that now in Planet Coaster because that's so cool. That just was impossible in Planet Coaster 1 to build something like this. Just straight up impossible. There were moving animatronics, but you couldn't customize them. And now with the customizability, it's a lot better. And with that, we have basically put in all 3 mice. I'm just like, making the whole place a bit better. And I was thinking about putting another one back there, but I didn't at the end, as there were already enough. And the people in the back can see the one on the left-hand side. Anyway, and with that basically, so at the end I want to ride the coaster again with you. Here we go. Now I like the start a lot. I think this part I won't change anymore. Yeah, this will just be the outback layout basically, visible from the parking lot. And here, yeah, you will see in the next few episodes what we will do with the whole station building. It's very elevated at the moment. And this track there, I think I will delete it. That was just for an optical illusion basically. Then we have already built in the last video the whole optical illusion here and the tower. And then we can go backwards through the whole entrance area. I mean, this is, I think in the back, riding it in the back is really the best you can do. There's a slice of cheese as well. Go through that building, and now we can ride into the newly built area with the mice in here. It closes, it's very dark, just the light we put in. We have this here. It's yeah, it's great. And then we can be launched out again. And basically you only have to go through the helix, and that was it. I hope you liked this video, and we see us next time in the 9th episode already. Yeah, till then, goodbye.